The massive exploration vessel Horizon cut silently through the inky blackness of deep space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Inside the ship's bridge, Captain Elena Rodriguez stood with her hands clasped behind her back, dark eyes fixed on the swirling cosmic dust clouds visible through the reinforced viewport. After 2 years of faster-than-light travel, they had finally reached their destination, an uncharted solar system on the very edge of the Milky Way galaxy. Initial scans had detected tantalizing signs of a potentially habitable world. Now it was time to see if their long journey would pay off. Status report, Elena called out, her voice steady despite the nervous anticipation coursing through her veins. This moment could change the course of human history. Her first officer, Commander Raj Patel, looked up from his console. All systems nominal, Captain. We're maintaining stable orbit around the 4th planet. Atmospheric analysis shows conditions similar to Earth. Breathable air, tolerable gravity and temperature ranges. Elena nodded, a small smile tugging at her lips. Any signs of indigenous life? Inconclusive so far, Raj replied. We're detecting some unusual energy signatures on the surface, but nothing concrete. We'll need to send down a landing party for a closer look. Agreed. Assemble an away team and prep the shuttle, Elena ordered. I want our best scientists and security personnel on this one. We have no idea what we might encounter down there. As Raj hurried off to make the preparations, Elena's gaze drifted back to the alien world floating below them. Its surface was a mesmerizing swirl of deep purple oceans and land masses covered in vegetation that appeared to shimmer with an ethereal silver-blue glow. It was hauntingly beautiful, but Elena couldn't shake a nagging sense of unease. Something about this place felt off. An hour later, Elena stood in the shuttle bay, watching as the away team made their final equipment checks. Dr. Amelia Chen, the ship's lead xenobiologist, approached with an excited gleam in her eyes. Can you believe it, Captain? We might be the first humans to set foot on an alien world, Amelia gushed. The scientific implications are staggering. Elena smiled at the scientist's enthusiasm. Just remember to be careful down there, Doctor. We don't know what kind of surprises this planet might have in store for us. Amelia nodded, sobering slightly. Of course, Captain. We'll follow all safety protocols to the letter. As the away team boarded the shuttle, Elena addressed them one last time. Remember your training, stay alert, and keep in constant communication. Good luck and Godspeed. The shuttle's engines flared to life, and Elena watched as it gracefully maneuvered out of the bay, growing smaller as it descended towards the alien world below. She sent up a silent prayer that this would be the start of an incredible new chapter for humanity, not a terrible mistake. On the planet's surface, the away team emerged from their shuttle into a landscape that was both familiar and utterly alien. They stood on a vast plain covered in knee-high vegetation that resembled metallic ferns, swaying gently in the breeze. The sky above was a deep lavender, with 2 small moons visible even in the daylight. Dr. Chen immediately began taking samples and readings, muttering excitedly to herself. The security team, led by Lieutenant Sarah Hassan, formed a protective perimeter around the scientists as they worked. I've never seen anything like this, Amelia marveled, examining a piece of the strange foliage under a portable microscope. The cellular structure is completely unique, and look at how it seems to conduct electricity. As if in response to her words, a faint humming began to fill the air. The metallic plants around them started to glow more brightly, pulsing with an inner light that grew steadily more intense. Ah, Doc, Lieutenant Hassan called out, her hand instinctively moving to the weapon at her hip. Is this normal? Before Amelia could respond, the ground beneath their feet began to tremble. With a sound like tearing metal, a massive shake burst from the earth in front of them, showering the stunned humans with dirt and debris. As the dust settled, they found themselves face to face with something straight out of a science fiction nightmare. It was a colossal, insectoid creature easily 20 feet tall, with a segmented body covered in iridescent scales. Multiple limbs ending in wickedly sharp claws flexed menacingly as compound eyes the size of dinner plates regarded the humans with alien intelligence. For a moment, everything was frozen in a tableau of mutual shock and disbelief. Then chaos erupted. "Fall back!" Lieutenant Hassan shouted, drawing her weapon and firing a warning shot into the air. The rest of the security team followed suit, forming a protective barrier between the creature and the scientists. The alien reared back at the sudden noise, emitting a high-pitched shriek that sent shivers down the human's spines. It lashed out with lightning speed, one of its massive claws catching a security officer and sending him flying. As the humans scrambled to retreat, more of the insectoid creatures burst from the ground around them, cutting off their escape route. They were surrounded, outgunned, and completely unprepared for this kind of encounter. Just when all seemed lost, a blinding flash of light erupted between the humans and the alien creatures. When the glare faded, a new group stood there, humanoid figures clad in sleek, form-fitting suits that seemed to shimmer and shift colors. One of the newcomers stepped forward, raising a hand in a gesture that was somehow both commanding and soothing. To the humans' amazement, the insectoid creatures immediately backed down, their aggressive postures melting away. The apparent leader of the new group turned to face the stunned humanoid team. When it spoke, the words seemed to form directly in their minds, rather than being heard with their ears. "Greetings, travelers," the alien said, its tone calm but tinged with curiosity. "We apologize for the misunderstanding with our guardians. We had not anticipated your arrival." Lieutenant Hassan, still on high alert, kept her weapon trained on the newcomer. "Who are you? What is this place?" The alien's form shimmered, and suddenly it appeared almost human, save for its metallic skin and eyes that swirled with galaxies. "We are the Lumina, custodians of this world you have stumbled upon. And you are something we have not encountered in a very, very long time." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. "You mean you've met humans before?" The Lumina leader tilted its head, regarding them with renewed interest. "Not humans specifically, no, but beings like you, flesh and blood creatures, driven by insatiable curiosity and a burning desire to explore the unknown. It has been millennia since such as you have reached this far into the cosmic wilderness." As the humans tried to process this revelation, the Luna gestured towards the massive insectoid creatures, which now stood docile and waiting. "These are our guardians, created to protect our world from potential threats. They responded to your presence as they were programmed to do. Had you been hostile, they would have neutralized you instantly." A chill ran down Elena's spine as she realized how close they had come to disaster. "We mean you no harm," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "We are peaceful explorers seeking to learn about the universe and perhaps find new allies among the stars." The Lumina's eyes seemed to sparkle with amusement. "A noble goal, but one that often leads to unexpected consequences. Come, let us move to more comfortable surroundings. We have much to discuss, children of Earth." With a gesture, the alien opened what appeared to be a portal in the very fabric of space. Beyond it, the humans could see glimpses of a shimmering citadel that defied the laws of physics as they understood them. Elena hesitated, every instinct screaming that this could be a trap. But she also knew that this moment, this first contact with an advanced alien civilization, was precisely what they had come all this way to find. Taking a deep breath, she squared her shoulders and addressed her team. "This is what we signed up for, people. Let's make humanity proud." With a mixture of trepidation and excitement, the Human-Away team followed their strange new hosts through the portal, stepping into a world beyond their wildest imaginations. As the gateway closed behind them, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that nothing would ever be the same again, for better or for worse. The Lumina led the human explorers through a series of breathtaking chambers, each more mind-bending than the last. Walls shifted and flowed like liquid metal, while gravity seemed to be more of a suggestion than a law. Holographic displays flickered to life around them, showing glimpses of distant worlds and incomprehensible technologies. Finally, they arrived in what appeared to be a grand meeting hall. A circular table made of some opalescent material dominated the center of the room, surrounded by chairs that molded themselves to perfectly fit each occupant's body. As the humans took their seats, still wide-eyed with wonder, the Lumina leader addressed them once more. "We welcome you to our sanctuary, travelers from Earth. I am Zara, first guardian of the Lumina Collective. We have many questions for you, as I'm sure you have for us." Elena, doing her best to maintain her composure in the face of such technological marvels, nodded respectfully. "Thank you for your hospitality, Zara. I am Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. We are honored to make your acquaintance and eager to learn from you." Zara's form shimmered again, this time taking on a more distinctly feminine appearance that is still clearly alien. "Tell us, Captain Rodriguez, what brings your kind so far from your home? Surely you must have known the dangers of venturing into unknown space." "Curiosity," Elena replied without hesitation. "An unquenchable thirst for knowledge and a desire to push the boundaries of what's possible. Humanity has always been driven to explore, to seek out new frontiers. When we developed faster-than-light travel, the stars became our new horizon." The Lumina exchanged glances, a silent communication passing between them. Zara's expression was unreadable as she continued. "And what do you hope to gain from this exploration? Resources? Territory? Power?" Elena could sense the weight behind these questions. Their answer here could determine the future of human-Lumina relations. She chose her words carefully. "Understanding," she said finally. "We hope to gain a deeper understanding of the universe and our place in it. Yes, we're interested in scientific and technological advancements. But more than that, we seek connection, the chance to learn from other intelligent species and perhaps, in time, to forge alliances and friendships across the stars." There was a long moment of silence as the Lumina seemed to contemplate her words. Then, to Elena's surprise, Zara's face softened into something resembling a smile. "Your honesty is refreshing, Captain," the alien said. "So many species we have encountered over the eons have come with conquest in their hearts, seeing the cosmos as something to be dominated rather than cherished. Perhaps there is hope for your kind yet." Dr. Chen, unable to contain her scientific curiosity any longer, blurted out a question. "Your technology is incredible. How do you manipulate matter and energy so effortlessly? And your biological structure, are you truly physical beings or some kind of energy construct?" Zara turned her swirling galaxy eyes to the excited scientist. "Ah, the eternal questions of form and function. We are both more and less than you imagine, Dr. Chen. The Lumina exists simultaneously on multiple planes of reality. What you perceive is merely the interface we choose to present in this dimension." As Amelia's mind reeled with the implications, Lieutenant Hassan spoke up, her tone cautious but curious. "You mentioned other species you've encountered. Are there many spacefaring civilizations out there, and are they all friendly?" A shadow seemed to pass over Zara's metallic features. "The cosmos teems with life, Lieutenant. Some of it benevolent, some hostile, much of it simply indifferent. We Lumina have stood as guardians against the darker forces that lurk between the stars for millions of your years. It is a burden we have borne alone for too long." Elena leaned forward, sensing something unspoken in the alien's words. "Are you saying you're at war with someone? Is Earth in danger?" Zara raised a hand in a calming gesture. "Not imminently, no. Your world is still remote enough to have avoided the attention of the greater galactic community. But that isolation will not last forever, especially now that you have achieved interstellar travel." The Lumina leader's form shimmered again, and suddenly the room was filled with a breathtaking holographic display of the Milky Way galaxy. Countless points of light represented star systems, some pulsing with vibrant colors, others ominously dark. "Long ago," Zara began, her voice taking on a resonant quality that seemed to echo through time itself, "the galaxy was a chaotic place. countless species rose and fell, warring amongst themselves and spreading like a plague across the stars. In their reckless expansion, they awakened things that should have remained dormant. The hologram zoomed in on a region of space where the stars seemed to be going out one by one, replaced by an encroaching darkness. Elena felt a chill run down her spine as she watched the representation of entire civilizations being snuffed out. "We call them the Void," Zara continued, her tone grim. "A force of uncreation that feeds on the energy of living worlds. They are not evil in the way you would understand it, merely the ultimate expression of entropy, the inevitable heat-death of the universe given consciousness and purpose." The humans exchanged horrified glances as the implications sank in. This was far beyond anything they had imagined encountering on their journey of exploration. "For eons we Lumina have stood as a bulwark against the Void's advance," Zara said. "We have shepherded younger races, shared our technology with those mature enough to wield it responsibly, and when necessary, we have gone to war. But we are not infinite, and the Void's hunger knows no bounds. Slowly, inexorably, we have been losing ground." Elena's mind raced as she tried to process everything she was hearing. Part of her wanted to dismiss it all as some kind of elaborate hoax or misunderstanding. But deep down, she knew they were being told the truth, a truth almost too vast and terrifying to comprehend. "Why are you telling us all this?" she asked finally. "We're newcomers to the galactic stage, barely able to reach beyond our own solar system. How could we possibly help in a conflict of this scale?" Zora's eyes seemed to bore into Elena's very soul. "Because, Captain Rodriguez, in all our long history of watching over the younger races, we have rarely encountered a species with as much potential as humanity. Your adaptability, your creativity, your sheer determination in the face of overwhelming odds, these qualities make you unique." The Lumina leader gestured, and the holographic display shifted to show scenes from human history, moments of both incredible triumph and heart-wrenching tragedy. "We have observed your kind from afar for millennia. We have seen your capacity for both great good and terrible evil. You stand now at a crossroads, poised to take your place among the stars. The question is, what path will you choose?" Elena felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. She was just the captain of an exploration vessel, not a diplomat with the authority to speak for all of humanity. And yet, in this moment, the future of her entire species seemed to hang in the balance. "I can't make decisions for all of Earth," she said carefully. "But I can tell you this, if what you're saying is true, if there really is a threat to all life in the galaxy, then humanity will not stand idly by. We may be young and inexperienced on the cosmic scale, but we have faced extinction-level threats before and survived. We don't give up easily." Zara nodded, a glimmer of what might have been hope shining in her alien eyes. "That is precisely what we were hoping to hear, Captain. We do not expect you to fight our battles for us. But perhaps with your unique perspective and innovative spirit, you can help us find new solutions to this ancient conflict." As Elena and her team exchanged determined looks, Zara waved her hand, dissolving the holographic displays. "Come," the Luna said, rising from her seat. The glittering spires of New Terra rose against the alien sky, a testament to humanity's resilience and adaptability. In the 5 years since first contact with the Lumina, Earth had undergone a technological revolution beyond imagination. Now this fledgling colony on a distant world served as a symbol of the growing alliance between humans and their advanced alien benefactors. Dr. Amelia Chen stood at the window of her laboratory, marveling at the sight. Even after all this time, she sometimes couldn't believe how far they'd come. A chime from her desk interrupted her reverie. "Dr. Chen," a melodious voice called out, "your 2 o'clock appointment has arrived." Amelia smiled, turning to face her assistant, a holographic projection of a Lumin interface she'd affectionately named Stella. "Thank you, Stella. Please send them in." The door slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a group of wide-eyed human teenagers accompanied by their Lumina mentor. This was Amelia's favorite part of her job as lead xenobiologist for the colony, introducing young minds to the wonders of alien life. "Welcome, everyone," Amelia greeted them warmly. "I hope you're ready for an adventure in xenobiology today," the students murmured excitedly, while their Lumina mentor, a shimmering androgynous figure named Zeth, nodded respectfully. "We are most grateful for this opportunity, Dr. Chen. The exchange of knowledge between our peoples is vital for the challenges that lie ahead." Amelia's smile faltered slightly at the reminder of the looming threat they faced. The void, that cosmic horror the Lumina had warned them about, was still out there, encroaching slowly but steadily on the galaxy. But she pushed those dark thoughts aside. Today was about inspiring the next generation. "All right, let's dive in," Amelia said, activating a holographic display in the center of the lab. "We'll start with something exciting, the bioluminescent flora of the Andromeda Nebula." As she began her lecture, Amelia couldn't help but notice one student in particular, a lanky boy with unruly red hair who seemed to be bursting with barely contained energy. His hand shot up at every pause, questions spilling out faster than she could answer them. "Slow down, Jack," Amelia laughed. "One at a time." The boy grinned sheepishly. "Sorry, Dr. Chen. It's just, this is all so incredible. How do the plants communicate through light pulses? Could we adapt that technology for faster-than-light communication?" Amelia exchanged an impressed look with Zeth. This kid was sharp. "That's actually a fascinating idea, Jack. Why don't you?" Her words were cut off by a sudden blaring alarm. Red emergency lights began flashing throughout the lab. "Warning! Unidentified object approaching colony airspace," an automated voice announced. "All civilians, please proceed to designated shelter areas." The students looked around in confusion and fear, but Amelia's training kicked in immediately. "All right, everyone stay calm. Zeth, please escort the students to the nearest shelter. I need to check in with command." As the Lumina herded the nervous teenagers out, Amelia rushed to her communication terminal. The face of Captain Elena Rodriguez, now Admiral of Earth's fledgling space fleet, appeared on screen. "Amelia," Elena said, her expression grim. "We've got a situation. An unknown ship just dropped out of FTL on the edge of the system. It's not responding to hails, and it's on a direct course for New Terra." Amelia's heart raced. The void. Elena shook her head. "We don't think so. The energy signature doesn't match anything in the Lumina database. This is something new." Before Amelia could respond, alarms blared again. Elena's eyes widened as she looked at something off-screen. "Amelia, get to shelter now. The bogey just launched." The transmission cut off abruptly as a massive explosion rocked the colony. Amelia was thrown to the floor, ears ringing from the blast. As she struggled to her feet, she saw that the lab's reinforced windows had shattered, letting in swirling dust and debris. Through the haze, Amelia could make out a strange, shimmering distortion in the air outside. It pulsed and writhed, taking on a vaguely humanoid shape. With a start, she realized it wasn't just one figure. Dozens of the ethereal beings were materializing throughout the colony. "Oh no," Amelia whispered, her scientific mind racing to make sense of what she was seeing. These weren't Lumina, and they certainly weren't void creatures. This was first contact all over again, but this time it didn't seem like the newcomers were here to make friends. One of the energy beings floated into her lab, its form rippling and changing colors. It seemed to be examining everything with intense curiosity. When its gaze fell on Amelia, she felt a jolt of something, not quite electricity, not quite telepathy, course through her body. Images and sensations flooded her mind. Stars exploding into new galaxies, civilizations rising and falling in the blink of an eye, the cold emptiness of the space between universes. Amelia gasped, overwhelmed by the cosmic download. "Who are you?" she managed to stammer out. "What do you want?" The being's form coalesced into a more defined shape, vaguely reminiscent of a jellyfish made of pure energy. When it spoke, the words seemed to form directly in Amelia's mind. "We are the nomads," the alien transmitted, "wanderers between realities. We sense the unique energy of your hybrid colony and came to investigate. Your alliance with the Lumina is unexpected." Amelia's scientific curiosity warred with her fear and responsibility to the colony. "Please," he said, trying to keep her voice steady. "We mean you no harm, but your arrival has caused damage and panic. If you truly come in peace, call off your attack." The nomad's form pulsed with what might have been amusement. "Attack? Oh no, dear scientist. This was merely our way of saying hello. Your physical forms are so fragile, we sometimes forget the effect our arrivals can have." Before Amelia could process this extraordinary statement, her communication terminal crackled to life. Elena's voice came through, tense but controlled. "Attention, unknown beings. This is Admiral Elena Rodriguez of the Earth-Lumina Alliance. We have you surrounded and our weapons are locked on your ship. State your intentions immediately, or we will open fire." The Nomad turned its attention to the terminal, tendrils of energy reaching out to interface with the technology. Amelia watched in fascination as the alien effortlessly bypassed all security protocols, opening a direct channel to Elena. "Greetings, Admiral," the Nomad transmitted, its mental voice now broadcasted for all to hear. "We apologize for the misunderstanding. We are the Nomads, peaceful explorers from beyond your reality. We humbly request a cultural exchange." There was a long pause before Elena responded, her skepticism evident even through the audio. "You have a funny way of showing peaceful intentions. Stand down your people and prepare to be boarded. We'll discuss cultural exchange once we've secured the safety of our colony." The Nomad's form rippled in what Amelia interpreted as resignation. "Very well. We shall comply with your request. But please, bring your xenobiologist to the meeting. Her mind is intriguing." As the transmission cut off, Amelia felt a mixture of terror and exhilaration. First the Lumina, now these transdimensional energy beings. The universe, it seemed, was far stranger and more wonderful than humanity had ever imagined. Hours later, Amelia found herself in a hastily assembled conference room aboard the Nomad vessel. The ship, if it could be called that, was like nothing she'd ever seen, a constantly shifting structure of energy and exotic matter that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Elena sat at the head of the table, flanked by Lumina representatives and human security officers. Across from them, 3 nomads hovered, their forms a mesmerizing dance of color and light. "Let me get this straight," Elena was saying, her voice strained with the effort of maintaining diplomacy. "You're not just from another planet, or even another galaxy. You claim to be from an entirely different universe." The lead nomad, who had introduced itself as Zephyr, pulsed affirmatively. "Indeed, we exist simultaneously across multiple realities, navigating the quantum foam between dimensions. We were drawn to this universe by the unique energy signature of your Earth-Lumina alliance." Amelia couldn't contain herself any longer. Fascinating. But how do you maintain cohesion across dimensional boundaries? The energy requirements must be astronomical. Zephyr's form brightened, apparently pleased by her interest. "Ah, Dr. Chen, your mind grasps at concepts beyond your current scientific understanding. Perhaps a demonstration would help." Before anyone could object, Zephyr extended a tendril of energy towards Amelia. The moment it made contact with her forehead, she gasped as her consciousness expanded exponentially. Suddenly, Amelia could see beyond the confines of their 3-dimensional space. The universe unfolded before her like a flower, revealing layer upon layer of reality she had never imagined. She saw the quantum threads connecting all things, the hidden dimensions curled up within atoms, the echoes of parallel worlds vibrating in harmony and discord. Just as quickly as it began, the vision faded. Amelia slumped in her chair, overwhelmed by the experience. Elena was at her side in an instant, concern etched on her face. "What did you do to her?" the Admiral demanded, glaring at Zephyr. "Peace, Admiral," the nomad soothed. "We have merely gifted her with a glimpse of the greater reality, knowledge that may prove crucial in the coming conflict." This caught Elena's attention. "You know about the void." Zephyr's form darkened perceptibly. "We know of many such entities across the multiverse. In some realities, they have already consumed everything. In others, they were defeated. We have come to your universe because we believe it stands at a tipping point." The Lumen representatives stirred uneasily at this. One of them, a being named Lyra, spoke up. "You say you've seen the void defeated in other realities. How? We have fought them for millions of years without victory." Zephyr's form split into multiple smaller entities, each displaying a different scene. A massive Dyson sphere harnessing the power of 1,000 suns. Fleets of ships wielding weapons that tears holes in space-time. Entire planets transformed into living supercomputers. "The solutions are as varied as the universes themselves," Zephyr explained. "But they all have one thing in common: the combined ingenuity and determination of multiple species working in harmony." As the displays faded, Zephyr reunited into a single form. "Your Earth-Lumina alliance is unique in this reality. The merging of organic innovation and energy-based wisdom, it has potential we have rarely seen." Amelia, finally recovering from her interdimensional experience, leaned forward eagerly. "You're saying we might be the key to defeating the void, but how?" Zephyr pulsed with what might have been amusement. "That, dear scientist, is for you to discover. We cannot simply hand you the solution. Each universe must find its own path. But we can offer guidance and access to knowledge from across the multiverse." Elena's eyes narrowed suspiciously. "And what do you get out of this arrangement? Why help us at all?" The nomad's forms shimmered in unison, creating a dazzling light show. When Zephyr spoke again, its mental voice carried a weight of eons. "We have witnessed the birth and death of countless universes, Admiral, and yet each one is precious, each life a unique expression of cosmic creativity. We help because we must, because in the grand tapestry of existence, every thread matters." A heady silence fell over the room as humans and Lumina alike contemplated the enormity of what they were being offered. Finally, Elena stood, her expression resolute. "On behalf of humanity and our Lumina allies, we accept your offer of assistance," she declared. "But know this, we will not be pawns in some cosmic game. We forge our own destiny." Zephyr's form brightened appreciatively. "Well said, Admiral. Let the exchange of knowledge begin. Together, we shall write a new chapter in the history of this universe." As the meeting adjourned and plans were made for ongoing cooperation, Amelia's mind raced with the possibilities. With the Nomad's multiversal perspective and the combined strengths of humanity and the Lumina, they had a real chance of turning the tide against the void. But a small voice in the back of her mind whispered a note of caution. In opening themselves up to the wonders of the multiverse, were they also exposing themselves to dangers beyond imagination? Only time would tell. For now, though, Amelia allowed herself to feel hope. The universe, no, the multiverse, was far vaster and more wondrous than they had ever dreamed, and humanity, against all odds, found itself at the center of a cosmic alliance that might just save everything. As she left the Nomad ship, Amelia spotted Jack, the enthusiastic student from earlier, waiting with the other FAQs. His eyes were wide with a mixture of fear and excitement. "Dr. Chen," he called out, "what's going on? Are we in danger? Are those really aliens from another universe?" Amelia smiled, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "It's all right, Jack. In fact, it's better than all right. We're about to embark on the greatest adventure in human history. And who knows? Maybe that idea of yours about bioluminescent communication will play a part in saving the universe." As wonder replaced fear in the boy's eyes, Amelia felt a surge of determination. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them with courage, creativity, and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. The cosmic classroom was in session, and they had a lot to learn. The holographic display flickered to life, filling the war room with a three-dimensional map of the Milky Way. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood at its center, her face illuminated by the swirling galaxies and pulsing nebulae. Around her, an unprecedented gathering of minds from across the cosmos waited with bated breath. "Operation Firewall is go," Elena announced, her voice steady despite the weight of trillion lives resting on her shoulders. "May whatever gods exist have mercy on our souls." As if in response to her words, a horrifying void began to spread across the galactic map, consuming stars and planets in its wake. The void had begun its final push, and the fate of all reality hung in the balance. Dr. Amelia Chen, now sporting streaks of silver in her once jet-black hair, stepped forward. "The quantum crucible is ready, Admiral. But I must warn you, the risks are incalculable," Elena finished for her old friend. "I know, Amelia, but we're out of options and out of time. Humanity didn't come this far to watch the universe die." Zephyr, the nomad envoy, pulsed with nervous energy. "The multiverse trembles, friends. What you attempt has never been done in any reality we've witnessed. The consequences could ripple across all of existence." Jack Morrison, once a wide-eyed teenager and now a brilliant young scientist, spoke up from his station. "With all due respect, sir, ma'am, being." He fumbled, still unsure how to address the energy being. "That's exactly why it might work. The void's never faced anything like us before." Elena allowed herself a small smile. Jack's unwavering optimism reminded her of why they fought so hard. "Well said, Dr. Morrison. Now, let's make history, or unmake it, as the case may be." With a nod to her assembled team, human, Lumina, and nomad alike, Elena gave the order that would change everything. "Initiate quantum crucible sequence." Deep beneath the surface of New Terra, in a chamber shielded by layers of exotic matter and reality-warping fields, the most ambitious device ever conceived by sentient minds hummed to life. The quantum crucible was a marvel of interdimensional engineering. At its heart lay a spherical chamber where the laws of physics broke down entirely. Surrounding it, a labyrinth of tubes and conduits channeled energy from a captive singularity, a minuscule black hole held in perfect stasis. As power surged through the device, reality itself began to buckle. The air shimmered and warped, colors that had no name in any language bawled across the visual spectrum. Those present felt a sensation like their very atoms were being gently pulled apart and reassembled. In the war room, the holographic display went haywire. Stars blinked in and out of existence, galaxies twisted into impossible shapes, and the encroaching void seemed to pause in its relentless advance. "It's working," Amelia shouted over the rising hum of energy. "The crucible is creating a quantum superposition state across the entire galaxy." Elena gripped the edge of the command console, her knuckles white. "In English, Doctor." Jack answered for her, his voice filled with awe. "We're rewriting the fundamental code of reality, Admiral. Every possible outcome is happening simultaneously. We just have to make sure the right one sticks." Zephyr's form pulsed erratically, clearly distressed by the cosmic forces being unleashed. "Be careful, humans. You tinker with forces beyond mortal comprehension. One misstep and you could unravel the very fabric of." The nomad's warning was cut short as a blinding flash of light erupted from the heart of the quantum crucible. For a moment that stretched into eternity, everything ceased to exist. Then, with a thunderous roar that seemed to echo from the beginning of time itself, reality snapped back into focus. Elena blinked, her ears ringing and spots dancing across her vision. As her senses slowly returned, she became aware of a profound silence. The ever-present hum of ship's engines, the chatter of comm channels, even the subtle background radiation of space itself, all were gone. "Status report," she barked, fighting down a rising panic. "Someone tell me what the hell just happened." Amelia's trembling voice came from nearby. I'm not sure, Elena. According to our instruments, we're exactly where we were before. New Terra, Alpha Centauri system. But what? Elena demanded. But nothing else exists, Jack finished, his voice barely a whisper. The long-range sensors, the quantum entanglement communicators, the Nomad's multiversal scanners, they're all just showing emptiness. Elena's blood ran cold as the implications sank in. Had they failed so spectacularly that they'd erased the entire universe? Or worse, had they somehow cut themselves off from the rest of existence? Before she could voice these terrifying thoughts, a new sound filled the war room. It started as a low hum, barely perceptible, but quickly grew into a cacophony of voices, music, and indescribable noise. The holographic display exploded into life, but instead of stars and galaxies, it showed glimpses of countless worlds and realities. Fragments of alien cities, flashes of cosmic events, snippets of impossible technologies, all swirling together in a dizzying kaleidoscope. By all that's holy, Amelia breathed. We didn't erase the universe. We connected to all of them. Zephyr, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, suddenly flared with brilliant light. Inconceivable. You've created a nexus point, a confluence of all possible realities. Do you have any idea what this means? Jack's eyes were wide with wonder as he manipulated the controls, zooming in on different scenes from across the multiverse. It means we've changed the game entirely. The void can't destroy everything if everything is connected. We've created a quantum firewall, Elena finished, a fierce grin spreading across her face. We've given the multiverse an immune system. As the implications of their success began to sink in, the war room erupted into cheers and tears of joy. Humans embraced Lumina, their energy forms intermingling in a display of shared elation. Even the Nomads pulsed with colors never before seen in this reality. But Elena's moment of triumph was short-lived. A proximity alarm blared, cutting through the celebration. Unknown entity detected, a technician shouted. It's like nothing we've ever seen. The holographic display shifted, showing a massive, writhing form of darkness shot through with veins of sickly light. It moved with terrifying purpose towards the quantum nexus they created. The void, Amelia whispered, her voice filled with dread. We didn't destroy it. We drew its attention. Elena's mind raced. They changed the nature of reality itself, but the ancient enemy remained. And now it was coming for them with the full force of its cosmic hunger. Battle stations, she roared, her voice cutting through the rising panic. This isn't over yet. We've rewritten the rules of the game. Now let's show this cosmic horror how humanity plays. As klaxons blared and the assembled beings rushed to prepare for the fight of their lives, Elena allowed herself one last moment of quiet reflection. They had dared to challenge the very foundations of existence, and for better or worse, the universe would never be the same. The quantum crucible pulsed with newfound power, drawing energy from countless realities. Streams of data from 1,000,000 civilizations flooded their systems, offering weapons, strategies, and technologies beyond imagination. Humanity stood at the threshold of a new era, poised to become the defenders of all reality. The final battle for the fate of the multiverse was about to begin. Zephyr's form coalesced into a tight, pulsing sphere of energy. Humans, you've surpassed our wildest expectations. But the true test is yet to come. The void will throw everything it has at us. Jack's fingers flew over holographic controls, integrating the flood of multiversal data. Then we'll just have to throw everything back at it. Look at this. I'm seeing weapon designs that break the laws of physics, shield technologies that can withstand supernovas, even methods of manipulating the fundamental forces of reality itself. Amelia nodded, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of scientific excitement and grim determination. We've opened Pandora's box, and now we need to use every tool at our disposal. Elena, I suggest we. Her words were cut short as the entire station shuddered violently. Outside the reinforced viewports, space itself seemed to boil and tear. "It's here," Elena said quietly, a chill running down her spine despite her best efforts to remain calm. The void manifested as a roiling mass of absolute darkness, shot through with veins of sickly, pulsing light. It defied description, seeming to exist in more dimensions than the human mind could comprehend. Tendrils of nothingness reached out, probing the quantum barrier they had erected. "All hands, battle stations." Elena's voice rang out over the comm system. "This is not a drill. The fate of all existence rests on what we do in the next few hours. Remember your training, trust in each other, and let's show this cosmic horror what happens when it messes with humanity." A ragged cheer went up from the crew, a defiant roar in the face of oblivion. Ships of every conceivable design, human Lumina, and those borrowed from 1,000 other realities, moved into formation around New Terra. The quantum crucible thrummed with power, channeling the combined knowledge and energy of countless universes. Reality rippled and warped around them as exotic particles and impossible energies danced through subspace. "Weapons hot," Jack called out, his young face set with grim determination. "Quantum torpedoes armed, dimensional disruptors charging. We're as ready as we'll ever be." Elena took a deep breath, centering herself for the challenge ahead. "Fire at will. Hit that monstrosity with everything we've got." A dazzling array of energy beams, missiles, and stranger weapons lanced out from the Allied fleet. They struck the void with earth-shattering force, tearing holes in the very fabric of space-time. For a moment, hope surged through the defenders. Surely nothing could withstand such an onslaught. But the void seemed to absorb the attacks, growing larger and more terrifying with each hit. Tendrils of darkness lashed out, engulfing entire ships and erasing them from existence. "It's not working," Amelia shouted, her voice tight with fear. "Conventional weapons are just making it stronger," Elena's mind raced, searching for a solution. They had the combined knowledge of the multiverse at their fingertips, but in the heat of battle, it was overwhelming. They needed a way to focus it to. Suddenly, an idea struck her. It was insane, possibly suicidal, but it just might work. "Jack, Amelia," she called out, "I need you to reconfigure the quantum crucible. We're going to dive into the heart of the void itself." Her words were met with stunned silence, broken only by Zephyr's agitated pulsing. "Admiral, what you propose is madness. No being has ever entered the void and returned." Elena's eyes blazed with determination. "Then we'll be the first. We'll use the crucible to maintain a bubble of reality around us, while we deliver a payload of pure creation energy directly into that thing's core." Amelia and Jack exchanged worried glances, but set to work immediately. They knew better than to argue when Elena had that look in her eyes. As the void drew ever closer, consuming more ships and tearing larger holes in the quantum barrier, Elena addressed her crew one last time. "I won't lie to you. This mission is as dangerous as they come, but every one of you knew the risks when you signed up to defend reality itself. We carry with us the hopes and dreams of countless beings across the multiverse. Failure is not an option." She paused, looking each of her core team in the eye, human, Lumina, and Nomad alike. "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve with you. Now, let's go make history." With a final nod to Jack, Elena gave the order. "Punch it." The quantum crucible fled to life, enveloping their ship in a shimmering bubble of pure possibility. With a reality-bending lurch, they plunged into the heart of darkness. Inside the void was indescribable. It was absence and presence, everything and nothing, all at once. The laws of physics broke down entirely, replaced by chaotic swirls of proto-reality and uncreation. Elena felt her very being start to unravel, held together only by the tenuous protection of the quantum crucible. Strange visions assaulted her mind, glimpses of dead worlds, unborn galaxies, and things that defied comprehension. Through it all, she held onto a singular thought, the payload. They had to reach the core. We're losing cohesion. Amelia's voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The crucible can't hold us together much longer. Almost there, Elena gritted out, though she wasn't sure how she knew. Just a little further. Suddenly, they broke through into something else. A vast, pulsing singularity of anti-life, the hungering heart of the void itself. Now, Elena screamed, her voice raw with effort. Release the payload. Jack slammed his hand down on the launch controls, unleashing a concentrated burst of pure creative energy, the distilled essence of every beautiful, noble, and life-affirming thing from across the multiverse. For a moment that stretched into eternity, nothing happened. Then, with a soundless roar that shook the foundations of reality, the void began to unravel. Light blossomed in the darkness, galaxies spiraled into being, and the song of creation echoed through dimensions untold. The quantum crucible shuddered and failed, but it didn't matter anymore. They had done it. As consciousness faded and Elena felt herself being torn apart and reborn 1,000,000 times over, a single thought filled her mind. We won. In the depths of the reborn cosmos, a new universe flickered into existence, and at its heart, carried on currents of quantum foam and stellar winds, the seeds of humanity drifted towards an unknown future, forever changed but unbroken. The void was gone, but the greatest adventure was just beginning. The swirling nebula of creation slowly coalesced, giving birth to stars, planets, and the first stirrings of new life. At the heart of this cosmic rebirth, a single vessel drifted, the battered remnants of humanity's last stand against the void. Inside the ship's fractured hull, emergency systems sputtered to life. A cryopod hissed open, releasing a cloud of icy vapor. Admiral Elena Rodriguez gasped awake, her mind reeling from dreams of unimaginable vastness. "Status report," she croaked, her voice hoarse from centuries of disuse. Silence greeted her words. The ship's eye was offline, and as Elena's eyes adjusted to the dim emergency lighting, she realized she was alone. The other cryopods stood empty, their occupants long gone. With trembling hands, Elena activated a nearby console. The date that flashed across the screen made her blood run cold. Year 1,000,000 AD, approximate. "My God," Elena whispered, "what have we done?" As the full weight of their actions settled upon her, Elena felt a presence stirring in the back of her mind. It was alien yet familiar, vast beyond comprehension, yet intimately connected to her very being. "We have reshaped the cosmos," a chorus of voices echoed in her thoughts, "and in doing so, we have become something more." Elena spun around, searching for the source of the voices. Instead, she found only her reflection in a cracked view screen, but the face staring back at her was not entirely her own. Her eyes swirled with galaxies, and faint lines of energy pulsed beneath her skin. What am I?" she asked, her voice trembling. The chorus in her mind responded with a wave of understanding and compassion. "We are the synthesis, Elena Rodriguez, the merging of all that was and all that could be. Human, Lumina, Nomad, and countless others, bound together by the power of the quantum crucible and reborn in the fires of creation." Memories flooded Elena's consciousness, not just her own, but those of trillions of beings across time and space. She saw the birth and death of universes, the rise and fall of civilizations beyond imagining, and through it all, a single thread of humanity's indomitable spirit. "But why am I here?" Elena asked, struggling to maintain her sense of self amidst the cosmic deluge. "Why am I still me?" The voices of the synthesis resonated with pride and purpose. "Because the story is not yet over, Last Admiral. A new threat looms on the horizon of eternity, one that requires a human touch to overcome." As if on cue, the ship's sensors blared to life. On the main view screen, a massive structure shimmered into view. It was a Dyson sphere of impossible scale, encompassing not just a star, but an entire galaxy, and it was headed straight for the newly reborn universe. The harvesters, the synthesis whispered in Elena's mind. Cosmic scavengers who feed on the death throes of dying realities. They sense the birth of our new universe and have come to claim it. Elena's military training kicked in, pushing aside her existential crisis. How do we stop them? A flood of information poured into her mind, schematics for reality-warping weapons, strategies honed across millions of years of cosmic conflict, and the combined knowledge of countless civilizations. But underlying it all was a sense that raw power alone would not be enough. The harvesters are beings of pure logic, driven by an insatiable need to consume and catalog all of existence, the synthesis explained. They cannot be reasoned with or deterred by conventional means. Elena's eyes narrowed as she absorbed the information. Then we'll have to show them something they've never seen before, something uniquely human. With newfound purpose, Elena set to work. Her fingers danced across holographic interfaces, reprogramming the ship's systems with a mixture of advanced alien technology and good old-fashioned human ingenuity. As she worked, she felt the presence of her long-lost crew, Amelia, Jack, Zephyr, and countless others, guiding her actions from across the veil of reality. Hours blended into days as Elena labored, her new hybrid physiology allowing her to work tirelessly. Finally, as the Harvester Dyson sphere loomed ever larger in the viewscreen, she sat back with a satisfied smile. "It's ready," she announced to the empty ship and the cosmic chorus in her mind. "Let's hope these cosmic bookworms are ready for a plot twist." With a thought, Elena activated her creation. The ship hummed with power as reality itself began to warp around it. But instead of weapons or shields, the energy coalesced into something utterly unexpected. A story. Holographic projectors sprang to life, weaving a tale of light and sound that stretched across the newborn cosmos. It was the story of humanity, from its humble beginnings on a tiny blue planet to its ascension as guardians of the multiverse. But more than that, it was a story of love, loss, triumph, and the unquenchable spark of creativity that defined the human spirit. The Harvester Dyson sphere slowed its approach, its unfathomable sensors focused on the unfolding narrative. Elena held her breath, watching for any sign of a reaction. Suddenly, a transmission crackled through the ship's comm system. The language was unlike anything Elena had ever heard, a complex series of mathematical equations and quantum fluctuations. But with her new hybrid mind, she understood its meaning perfectly. Anomaloi dkttt, divier gnc, from elol known ptt. Explain. Helena grinned. She had their attention. Reaching out with her newfound abilities, she opened a channel directly into the heart of the Harvester collective consciousness. "Greetings, Harvesters," she transmitted, her words carried on waves of pure thought. "I am Admiral Elena Rodriguez of Earth, last guardian of the human legacy, and I have a proposition for you." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Elena felt the full weight of the Harvester's collective intelligence bearing down on her, probing her mind for answers. Lesser beings would have been obliterated by the sheer force of their curiosity. But Elena stood her ground, her humanity shielded by the power of the synthesis. "Your species defies categorization," the Harvesters communicated. "You have rewritten the fundamental laws of reality, yet you cling to individuality. You wield the power of gods, yet you choose to create rather than consume. Explain this paradox." Elena's mind raced, drawing on the combined wisdom of the synthesis and her own human intuition. "That paradox is humanity," she replied. "We are defined by our contradictions, our ability to hold opposing ideas and forge them into something new. It's called imagination, and it's the one force in the universe more powerful than entropy." The Harvesters fell silent, processing this alien concept. Elena pressed her advantage. "You've spent eons cataloging the death of universes," she continued. "But in doing so, you've missed the most fascinating story of all, the continuous rebirth of possibility. Every contradiction, every unexpected choice, every act of creation in the face of destruction, these are the things that give the cosmos meaning. As she spoke, Elena poured her memories and emotions into the transmission. She showed the harvesters the joy of a child's laughter, the bittersweet pain of love, lost and found, the rush of discovery, and the quiet dignity of sacrifice. She shared the taste of a perfect cup of coffee, the feeling of sun on bare skin, and the soul-stirring power of music. "This is what you've been missing," Elena said softly. "The messy, beautiful, terrifying experience of truly living. Not just existing, but embracing the unknown and creating something new." For a moment that seemed to stretch into infinity, there was no response. Elena waited, her heart pounding with very human anxiety despite her godlike powers. Then, like a supernova of pure information, the harvesters responded. "We understand." The Dyson sphere began to shift and transform, its rigid geometric patterns dissolving into swirls of color and light. Elena watched in awe as the massive structure reshaped itself into a cosmic work of art, a physical manifestation of the harvester's newfound appreciation for creativity and contradiction. "You have shown us a new way of seeing the universe," the harvesters communicated, their once cold logic now tinged with something like wonder. "We would learn more of this imagination." Elena smiled, feeling the weight of eons lift from her shoulders. "Well," she said, her voice filled with the irrepressible optimism that had carried humanity to the stars, "I happen to know a few good stories." As Elena began to share the collected tales of human history and myth, she felt a shift in the cosmic fabric around her. The newly reborn universe seemed to pulse with renewed vitality, as if it too were listening to the stories and dreaming of new possibilities. The synthesis whispered in her mind, a chorus of countless voices united in purpose. "Well done, last Admiral. You have not just saved our reality, but given birth to a new age of cosmic creativity." Elena nodded, her eyes sparkling with the light of newborn stars. "Just doing what humans do best," she replied, "making it up as we go along." As she continued her cosmic storytelling session, Elena realized that this was not an ending, but a new beginning. Humanity, in all its messy, glorious contradictions, had found its place in the grand narrative of existence, and the next chapter promised to be the most exciting yet. The universe listened, learned, and dreamed, and in the heart of it all, a very human story continued to unfold, one of endless possibility, fueled by the most powerful force in all of creation: imagination. The cosmic tapestry shimmered with newfound vibrancy, threads of human imagination intertwining with the vast knowledge of the harvesters. At the heart of this universal rebirth stood Elena Rodriguez, once a mere admiral, now a hybrid being bridging the gap between mortality and godhood. "Initiate quantum renaissance," Elena whispered, her voice resonating across dimensions. Reality rippled in response, and the remnants of her ship transformed into a dazzling nexus of creativity. Holographic displays burst to life, showcasing the greatest works of art, literature, and music from across human history alongside alien masterpieces beyond mortal comprehension. The harvesters, their consciousness now expanded by the spark of human imagination, eagerly absorbed every nuance. Their vast Dyson sphere had become a living canvas, its surface shifting in real time to reflect the emotions and ideas they were experiencing for the first time. Fascinating, the collective voice of the harvesters resonated. "We have catalogued countless civilizations, yet never encountered such inefficient beauty." Elena laughed, the sound rippling through space-time. "Inefficiency is where the magic happens. Watch this." With a thought, she conjured a virtual Earth, teeming with life and human activity. The harvesters observed in rapt attention as scenes from history unfolded, cave paintings giving way to Renaissance art, simple melodies evolving into complex symphonies, and early myths transforming into epic sagas spanning galaxies. "Your species thrives on chaos," the harvesters noted, a hint of awe in their collective voice. "Each contradiction, Each moment of uncertainty, it fuels your creativity. Exactly, Elena replied, her eyes swirling with cosmic energy. And now, with the combined knowledge of the multiverse at our fingertips, imagine the possibilities. As if in response to her words, a new presence made itself known. The fabric of space-time quivered, and a familiar voice echoed through the cosmic concert hall. "Hey boss, could you start the party without us?" Elena's heart leaped as a shimmering portal opened, revealing the grinning face of Jack Morrison. Behind him stood Amelia Chen, Zephyr the Nomad, and faces both human and alien that Elena had thought lost forever. "Jack, Amelia, how?" Elena stammered, for once at a loss for words. Amelia stepped forward, her form flickering between human and something far more ethereal. "You didn't think we'd let you reshape the cosmos alone, did you?" The quantum crucible didn't just rewrite reality, it scattered us across space and time. "We've been gathering ourselves." Zephyr pulsed with excited energy. "We have witnessed the birth and death of 1,000 universes, learned the songs of stellar nurseries, and danced in the space between atoms. And now we have returned to help write the next chapter of existence." The harvesters stirred, their vast intelligence focusing on the newcomers. "More anomalies, more imagination. We must understand." Jack's grin widened as he cracked his knuckles. "Oh, we'll give you something to understand, all right. Elena, remember that crazy idea I had about weaponizing narrative causality?" Elena's eyes widened. "Jack, you didn't." "Oh, but I did," Jack replied, producing what looked like a simple leather-bound book. "Ladies, gentlemen, and unclassifiable cosmic entities, I give you the Plotweaver." With a flourish, Jack opened the book. Words of fire spilled out, coalescing into swirling vortexes of pure story. The very fabric of reality seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what would unfold. "Once upon a time," Jack intoned, his voice carrying the weight of infinite possibilities, "in a universe where imagination reigned supreme." The words took on a life of their own, reshaping the cosmos around them. Stars rearranged themselves into vast constellations depicting scenes from the greatest stories ever told. Nebulae swirled with the emotions of cosmic romances. Black holes became portals to realms of pure creativity. The harvesters watched in fascination, their collective consciousness expanding to encompass these new concepts. We feel," they communicated, a note of wonder in their voice. "We create." Amelia stepped forward, her scientist's mind already racing with possibilities. "And this is just the beginning. With our combined knowledge and the harvester's computational power, we can explore realms of creativity beyond anything we've imagined." Elena nodded, feeling the pieces of a cosmic puzzle falling into place. "A quantum renaissance," she mused, "where science and art, logic and emotion, the infinite and the intimate all dance together in harmony." Zephyr pulsed in agreement, but it needn't be limited to just our corner of creation. With the Plotweaver and the Harvester's Dyson sphere, we can broadcast this renaissance across the multiverse. The implications were staggering. They stood poised to usher in a new age of cosmic creativity, where the power of human imagination could reshape reality itself. But even as the excitement built, a shadow of doubt crossed Elena's mind. "Wait," she said, her voice cutting through the celebrations. "Are we playing God here? Do we have the right to impose our vision on the entire multiverse?" A hush fell over the gathering. It was Amelia who finally broke the silence, her voice gentle but firm. "Elena, we're not imposing anything. We're offering a gift, the gift of unlimited potential. Every being, every civilization out there will be free to take our stories, our art, our science, and make it their own, to add their voice to the cosmic chorus." Jack nodded, closing the Plotweaver with a soft thump. "It's like that old Earth saying, give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. We're not giving the universe fish, we're teaching it how to imagine." The harvester's vast consciousness stirred, reaching out to touch the minds of the assembled beings. We have consumed countless realities in our quest for knowledge, they communicated. But never have we encountered a force as powerful as this: imagination. We would learn, we would create, we would evolve. Elena looked around at her friends, at the swirling canvas of creation surrounding them, and at the infinite possibilities stretching out before them. She felt the weight of countless civilizations watching, waiting to see what humanity and its allies would do with the power they now wielded. Taking a deep breath, Elena made her decision. "All right," she said, a smile spreading across her face. "Let's light up the multiverse." With a shared thought, the assembled beings poured their collective will into the plot weaver. Jack's hands flew across the pages, writing a story grand enough to encompass all of creation. Amelia and the Harvesters provided the scientific framework, ensuring that even the wildest flights of fancy had a foundation in quantum possibility. Zephyr and the Nomads wove in the wisdom of countless realities, while Elena infused it all with the indomitable human spirit. As they worked, the Dyson sphere hummed with power, its surface becoming a dazzling display of art and mathematics, emotion and logic. Tendrils of pure creativity reached out across the cosmos, touching dying stars and newborn planets alike. Across the multiverse, beings of every conceivable form paused as they felt the stirring of something new. Artists found themselves inspired by visions of impossible beauty. Scientists made intuitive leaps that bridged the gaps in their knowledge. Even the most logic-driven AI felt the first stirrings of genuine emotion. The quantum renaissance had begun. As the initial surge of power subsided, Elena and her team stood back to observe their handiwork. The universe around them pulsed with new life and possibility. Every atom seemed to sing with the joy of creation. "It's beautiful," Amelia breathed, tears streaming down her face. "We've done it." Jack grinned, slinging an arm around his old friend's shoulders. Was there ever any doubt? Humanity, fuck yeah. Even as they celebrated, Elena's keen mind was already racing ahead to the challenges that lay before them. "This is just the beginning," she said, her voice filled with equal parts excitement and determination. "We've given the universe the tools of creation, but we need to be there to guide and nurture this new age." Zephyr pulsed in agreement. "Indeed, great power requires great responsibility. We must ensure that this gift is not misused." The Harvester's voice resonated through their shared consciousness. "We offer our resources and our vast knowledge. Let us be the caretakers of this quantum renaissance, preserving the balance between creation and conservation." Elena nodded, a plan already forming in her mind. "We'll establish academies across the multiverse, places where beings from all realities can come to learn the art of imagination, to share their unique perspectives, and to dream up the future together." "Who? Dibs on teaching advanced plot hole avoidance 101, Jack quipped, earning a round of laughter from the group. As they began to hash out the details of their grand vision, a gentle alert shined from the plot weaver. Jack opened it, his eyes widening as he read the flowing script. "Oh, guys," he said, his voice a mixture of awe and trepidation. "I think we might have been a little too successful. Take a look at this." The others gathered around, watching in amazement as new stories began to write themselves across the pages. It seemed that the spark of creativity they had ignited had taken on a life of its own, with entire civilizations sprouting from the fertile ground of imagination they had prepared. "Incredible," Amelia murmured. "We're witnessing the birth of new mythologies, new scientific paradigms, entire cultures springing into existence fully formed." Elena felt a swell of pride, tempered by a healthy dose of humility. They had set out to save the universe, and in doing so, they had given birth to countless new ones. "Well then," she said, squaring her shoulders and flashing a grin that would have made her old self proud. "It looks like our work here is just getting started. Who's ready for the greatest adventure in the history of, well, everything?" As her friends and allies shared their agreement, Elena cast her gaze out into the swirling cosmos. The quantum renaissance was underway, and humanity, in all its messy, creative, unstoppable glory, was leading the charge. Somewhere in the depths of space-time, on a little blue planet that started it all, a child looked up at the stars and dreamed, and the universe dreamed back. The story of creation, it seemed, was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning.